So what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. Just wait for some of you guys to come in. But I want to answer a question from RJ World Sports News. You left a question for me in the community section. Your question was if Lomachenko beats Luke Campbell, like most of us expect him to, where do I see Luke Campbell going from there? Does he take the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Richard Comey, or does he move up weight and go up to light welterweight because you feel he's too good not to win a world title? Now, I think he should hang around at lightweight if the opportunities are still there. He's unlucky that he's fighting Vasily Lomachenko, but it's a great opportunity. You're fighting the best pound for pound fighter in the world for 3 belts, so he's in a great position to definitely, shock the boxing world and make a name for himself. But I think most people do expect him to lose. But I do think a fight between Lopez and Comey makes a lot of sense. I do think that he's a bit unlucky that the WBC should have mandated Luke Campbell to face Devin Haney, which would have made more sense. I think him fighting Lomachenko is a fight which is very difficult for him to win. Now, he did lose against Linares, but that was a very close fight, let's not forget. Luke Campbell acquitted himself very well. He did himself proud. Many people thought he nicked that fight. It was a very close fight. I thought Linares did enough to win, but he did himself proud in that fight. He did very well. So yeah, I think Luke Campbell should hang on in the 135-pound division. He's a big lightweight. He should hang around and look for the opportunities at lightweight. If there's no opportunities at lightweight, then he can move up to fight the 140-pounders. But right now, I think he should stick to the 135-pound division. So I hope that answers your question, RJ World Sports News. Yeah, so there's some big fights coming up. Some big fights coming up. Looks like we're waiting for Yarde and Koavlev Saturday night. Let's see how that one goes. That's a good fight. That's a interesting matchup. No one quite knows how that one's going to play out. Intriguing matchup. Just waiting for you guys to come in. No one's here at the minute. But yeah, so Yarde and Koavlev is going to be interesting. Going to be a great fight. It's going to be intriguing to see how that one goes. I think. Listen, in terms of Yarde Koavlev, I think that's a good matchup. But I think Kovalev's a huge favorite in that fight. You'd probably expect Kovalev to do a job on him, but I do think that Yarde has a chance. I think people are sleeping on Yarde and think that because he's fought lower level competition that he has no chance. But I don't see it that way. I think Yarde definitely has a chance. I think Yarde definitely can do some damage in that fight. But at the end of the day, he's up against a great fighter in Sergey Kovalev. So yeah, I think that one's an interesting matchup. Definitely an interesting, intriguing fight. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Anthony Yarde for sure. In terms of Spence Porter, that's a great fight as well. That's an interesting fight, an interesting matchup. But definitely it's going to be tough for Spence. I don't believe it's going to be an easy fight. I think it's a fight we expect him to win, but it's not. It's by no means an easy fight. And yeah, so I think that's going to be an interesting, intriguing matchup, Spence and Porter. Who do I think wins? I think Spence will win that. But I think Porter will put up a very good fight, and a fight which Spence's hardest fight to date, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, that's that one. Then there's also so we've spoke about Yarde, Kovalev, Spence Porter, Loma and Campbell. I've already spoke a little bit about it, but Loma and Campbell's a great fighter in the UK. I think people again are sleeping on Campbell, but you would do when you're fighting Lomachenko, who's considered the best fighter in the world. I think Campbell's unbelievable fighter. I think Lomachenko's he's very, very gifted and very, very talented. So I think it's going to be hard for Campbell to win that one, but I don't sleep on Campbell in that one. I think Campbell's very good. I think Campbell's going to be elusive. He's going to make it tough. He's a good boxer himself, Olympic gold medalist, one of the best British amateurs. And I think he does deserve to go on to win a world title, but sometimes if the opportunities don't present itself, then you may never win a world title. But you know, he's had 2 fights against Linares, which was very close, and a fight that, you know, some people thought he won. And now he's going to fight probably best fighter in the world in Vasily Lomachenko, which is, we all know, going to be a very, very hard fight. Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit disappointing, guys. No one's in the live stream. I thought there'd be a lot more of you in the live stream. A lot of you said you would join, but I don't know whether it's perfect time, guys. What I would advise you guys to do is like leave my emails in the description section. So if you guys want to do a Q&A, you can see my email in the description. So just send me emails, and then what I'll do is, rather than doing live streams, because I don't know what times you guys are free, and guys might be working at a certain time, some of you might be busy at a certain time, so you're not always going to be able to catch the live stream. And also for some reason YouTube's been a bit funny at the minute. My views are down. I don't know what's up. They're just not promoting the videos. I don't know what's happening, but that's irrelevant. If you guys want to do Q&As, then what you do is leave questions in the in my email. So send me an email with your question. And then what I'll do is at the end of the month or every week, I'll do a Q&A session. Because it seems like, although I did let you guys know that, you know, 5 o'clock I'd be doing this, or 5:30 I'd be doing a live stream, it feels to me like none of you got the message. I did say 5 o'clock, then I changed it to 5:30, but yeah, it just seems like no one's here, so it's a bit disappointing. But I'll wait a little while just to see whether you guys come in or not. But if not, then I'm probably gonna leave it. But if I like I said, if you guys want to leave your questions and you want me to do a Q&A, then leave your questions in the send me an email and I'll answer all your questions. But at the minute it's quite disappointing that there's no one in the live stream. It is down a little bit, but yeah, I'll wait around, hang around. Hopefully some of you guys will come in. If not, then I'll stop it, and then we can do the Q&A. Just what I would say, guys, just send me an email. Send me an email with your questions and I'll answer them. So yeah, that's what I can suggest. I will do a Q&A every month. So for example, send me all your questions by a certain time. So yeah, so guys, once you join the live stream, just ask me any questions. That's just, I thought I did a live stream for you guys. So ask me anything you want to ask me, and I'll happily answer it. But yeah, I thought the Q&A was a good idea, if I'm totally honest with you. I think the Q&A is definitely something that I'm going to be doing moving forward. I think it makes sense. Definitely makes sense moving forward. But as long as I get enough questions so I can make the video long enough. But it's up to you guys. Do you guys want live streams? Do you guys want Q&As where I answer your questions? You just got to let me know, really, and I'll do whatever. If you want live streams, which someone pointed out that, you know, not all of us will be able to reach me in the live streams, because some of you will be at work, some of you will be busy, so you might not be able to watch the live stream and you might not be able to answer your questions. Some of you suggested that, you know, you guys send me your questions via email, and then I answer them in a video, which is fair, which is something that I would do, no problem. But yeah, I think in terms of this live stream, I was expecting more numbers because I did let you guys know in advance. So at the minute, it's a bit dull with the numbers. I was expecting more of you so you guys can ask me questions. But yeah, we'll wait for more people to join, and then hopefully we can get this live stream going. If not, then what I'll do is what you guys can do, you guys can contact me through email. Like I said in the description, there should be my email address. So just send me all the questions that you want through email. So yeah, I'll wait around a little while just to see if there's more people that join. If not, then like I said, we'll just do a Q&A. Whatever works, however you guys want it, to be honest. But yeah, so I can see some of you in there now. If you want to ask any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. So I hope you guys can see me well. It's a bit sunny here, but the sun's shine. What do you think about Khan against Brook next Feb? By the Brook, would you have fought in 2 years? Okay. I think Khan and Brook is a bit dead. If I'm totally honest with you, I'm not sure that fight means much anymore. It's a fight that people, I'm not sure people will be interested in that fight anymore. I think it makes sense for both guys because both of them are looking to make some money now that they're at the end of their careers. So yeah, I think it makes sense for both guys, but I don't for some reason I don't feel that Amir Khan wants to fight Kell Brook. I don't think he's really interested in that fight. So I don't see it happening, if I'm totally honest with you. I just can't see it happening. I just can't see the Brook Khan fight taking place. I think we would all love to see Brook Khan, but if I'm totally honest with you, I don't think the fight happens. I don't think there's many people interested in it anymore. We'll watch it, of course. We'll all watch it, but I just don't think Amir Khan wants that fight at this point. And Kell Brook obviously wants it. He's been wanting it throughout his whole career, but I just don't think the fight happens, if I'm honest with you. Just giving you my honest opinion. I can't see it. How do you think Campbell will do against Loma? He didn't look good. So in terms of Campbell, I think Campbell doesn't beat Loma. Just like many people think. Many people think that Loma beats Campbell. I think he'll do better than what people think, though. Let's not forget Campbell's a very skillful fighter himself. He's a very good boxer. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And I think he'll cause Loma problems, but I don't think he wins. I think Lomachenko is just a different breed type of fighter. And the next question was about, what was it about? Manny Pacquiao fighting Thurman again, was it? To be honest, I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao fight Keith Thurman again. I saw Keith Thurman in an interview. I think he's recently was on Fox, I believe, and he was given an interview, and I think he mentioned something about wanting to fight Pacquiao again. I'll do a video on that. I haven't actually seen that interview, but I know he must have mentioned something about fighting Pacquiao again. I'll definitely do a video on that and probably give my thoughts on that. But yeah, I think in terms of Pacquiao Thurman, I don't particularly want to see that fight again. But will that happen? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Any more questions, guys? Keep throwing up. Keep sending the questions my way so I can answer them. Keep sending. Like I said, I think a lot of you guys are from. Not all of my subscribers are from the UK, so I don't know whether this is perfect timing. This is what I mean. So just let me know when the best time is to do a live stream, or when the best time is. When do you want me to do a Q&A? Where are you? I think both of them of course, at the end of their careers, Khan and Brook, They're both at the end of career. The Broner fight, it will be a good fight for Khan. I believe, because thing is with Broner's, you know how Broner is. He's basically, in my opinion, he's given up. He's just fighting now just to make a few quid. And I think it's a big fight for Khan in terms of profile-wise, a big fight, a big money fight. And I think it's a fight that he can win. And I think it's a fight he actually wins as well. I think Broner's style is perfectly made for Khan. However, I do think Amir Khan's declined so much that even Broner now can potentially be a threat. I believe a couple of years back, Broner wouldn't have even been a threat. Khan would have beaten him comfortably. But I believe right now, I believe even Broner's a threat to Khan. I think Amir Khan's declined quite considerably, and I think someone like Adrian Broner could cause him problem. Good counter puncher. He's just very gun shy. Don't throw enough punches, Broner. So it's a fight that I believe Khan wins, and it's a good payday. It's a good fight for him. You know, it's a fight which people won't give him a lot of stick about as well. Instead of fighting Kell Brook, if he takes the you know, what's it called, the Broner fight. So yeah, I think it's a fight you should consider. It's a big money fight for his stage in his career. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Anybody else with any more questions? Leave your questions. How does Josh do in the rematch? Ruiz has got fast hands but very slow feet. I think Joshua beats him in the rematch. I've made some videos about that. I feel that Joshua underestimated Ruiz. Ruiz has got fast hands, but those fast hands are only beneficial to him if he can get close to Joshua. If Joshua keeps him at the end of that jab, you know, he may not even get anywhere close to Joshua. Joshua's just got to keep him at the end of that jab, throw the right hand occasionally. Just don't get into a toe-to-toe, because if he gets into a toe-to-toe, he's close to Ruiz, then Ruiz can do his work. Just keep him at range. Just jab him, jab, grab. Also, Fury Wilder too. Do you think Wilder will throw more knowing that he can land? Yeah, I think Wilder would be a bit more... I think he'll be a bit more calculated next time, but I think he will look to throw more punches. But he did throw a lot of punches the first fight, however, and he got tired. He really gassed out. Fight will go. I think how the fight would go, I favor Fury, but Wilder just needs one punch. Wilder gets one punch and that's it. It could be game over, as he showed in that first fight that they had. He just landed one big blow and the Fury was almost knocked out cold. So yeah, Wilder only needs one punch. That's what makes him dangerous all the way through to the end. And that's why I think Deontay Wilder is a danger for anybody, because all he needs is one big right hand and it could be lights out. Yeah, any more questions, guys? Leave your questions. Don't be shy. Leave your questions. It's many questions. Where does Josh stand if he loses? Do you think there'd be a matchup with Huey and try spin it off with if he loses to Ruiz, then I don't know where he goes from there, if I'm honest. I don't know whether he'll pack it in. I don't know whether he'll look to continue. I'd like to think he'll still continue, but I think his career will be in tatters. I don't know where he goes from there. It's going to be tough because you've just lost to Ruiz again. You're not going to get a title shot anytime soon. Al Heyman's going to have control of all the heavyweight belts. It's going to be a nightmare. I think the best thing for boxing would be Joshua beats him. If Joshua loses again, then it's a hard road back for Joshua. Do you think he's making a mistake taking the rematch instantly with any kind of... Well, I think they cleared him in terms of... I don't think there would be any kind of concussion. It wasn't like he was knocked out badly. You know, he went down a couple of times and he managed to get out quite safe. But in terms of taking the rematch instantly, I think it's the right move. Where else does he go? If he doesn't take the rematch, then Al Heyman has all the belts. You can't afford to not take the rematch. He couldn't afford not to take the rematch. He had to take the rematch. He had no choice to take the rematch. And I think he made the right call by taking the rematch. But it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. I feel like he made the right call. How do you rate Ruiz? It took him 4 rounds to get a vulnerable AJ out of there. Yeah, Ruiz is all right. I'm not a big fan. I think, you know, Joshua didn't look right to me. I'm not a huge fan of Ruiz, if I'm honest with you. I'm not a big fan at all. I think he's all right, but if I'm honest, I'm not a massive fan of Andy Ruiz. I think He's limited. I think, you know, he is what he is. But I think Joshua's got to be a bit more calculated in the rematch. I think Ruiz loses to all the top heavyweights. Fury beats him. Wilder beats him. I believe Ortiz beats him. I just think, like I said, on that night, he was just had a good night, and Joshua had an off night, and he won the heavyweight title. I don't believe he's the top heavyweight. I don't believe he's like top. I don't believe so. Anyway, I think Dylan White probably beats him. I definitely think Fury beats him. I definitely think Wilder beats him. Ortiz beats him. I think a lot of guys beat him, and I even think Joshua beats him in the rematch. But you know, only time will tell. Maybe Ruiz is the real deal. And let's not forget Parker beat him as well. How does GG do against Derevyanchenko, and is it a risky fight at this stage? I don't think so. I think GGG wins that fight. You know, Canelo was meant to fight Derevyanchenko, and if I'm not mistaken, Jacobs beat him, didn't he? So yeah, I don't see that being a problem for GGG. If I'm honest with you, I know GGG is coming towards the end of his career, but I still think GGG's got a lot left. You know, let's not forget a lot of his early career was quite easy wins for him. It weren't hard fights, were they? The only hard fights you can say were Canelo, Jacobs was fairly hard, but apart from that, you know, those 3 fights, GG's career has been quite swift, and it's not been like grueling, hardcore fights. He's been involved in some easy fights that he completely battered the guy that he was fighting. So yeah, I think GGG wins against Derevyanchenko. I don't think that's a hard fight for him. If Yarde didn't have his name and was European, would we say Koavlev is fighting a bum? Possibly. I think Anthony Yarde. Yarde is very unknown, and the problem is he's been fighting bums. He's been fighting a lot of no-level fighters. Are we excited just because he's British? Yeah, we are, of course. Of course we are. Of course we are, because we want to see this fight. We want to see who wins. And it's if Yarde beats Koavlev, he becomes a superstar in Britain. He's already got a big name. He's already got quite a big name for a guy that's not beaten that many top fighters. So if he beats Koavlev, Yarde will go from here to there. He'll become a superstar. You know, so this is a great opportunity for Yarde to really you know, grab the bull by the horns and and become a star. You know, if he can win this fight, the world's his oyster. But most people expect him to lose, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can beat Anthony. Let's see if he can beat Sergey Kovalev. It's a tough fight, and I'm not sure he'll be good enough. But you know, he's definitely somebody that you can't overlook. Yarde, he's a good fighter, definitely. Any more questions? If Yarde beats Kovalev, do you think he could drag Ward out of retirement? Easy fight for Ward, in my opinion, but he hasn't completed for a while. Well, I know styles make fights, but if you look at Kovalev Ward, that was a hard fight. If Yarde beats Kovalev well, then with Ward being in retirement and Ward being out of boxing for a while, I don't know whether that's an easy fight, because Yarde would have a confidence like a lion. Like he says, lions in the camp. You know, he'd have his confidence would be through the roof after smashing Kovalev, because I don't think he's going to win a close decision in Russia. He's going to have to batter Kovalev. So if he beats Kovalev, then again, you have to say that Yarde's capable of beating anybody then, because Yarde would have just beaten one of the best light heavyweights in our generation. So yeah, I don't think you should underestimate Yarde, and I think Ward should stay retired, if I'm totally honest with you. He's a super fight down the road, but at the moment, what money fight does he have, Yarde, if he wins? Well, Buatsi's a great talent. Buatsi's a great fighter. Buatsi's most people had him ahead of Yarde. Most people think he's better than Yarde. But if Yarde beats Porter, wins against Spence, big chance of Pacquiao to unify titles. Yeah, I'll answer your question 1 second. Yeah, so if Yarde wins, Yarde's in a great position. Buatsi, that's a fight we want to see. That's a big fight down the road. But in terms of Porter, if Porter wins against Spence, then Manny Pacquiao and Porter, I think Manny Pacquiao beats Porter. If Porter beats Spence, then Manny Pacquiao beats Sean Porter. I don't think Porter beats Spence, but you never know in boxing, right? You never know. Anything's possible. Anything can happen. But yeah, I think I think that would be a great unification between. I think they're already fighting. Spence is already fighting a unification fight. Spence and Porter are fighting a unification fight. So the winner of this would definitely face Manny Pacquiao for 3 titles, and then hopefully the winner of that fights Terence Crawford. That's what we want to see. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Keep them coming through. Any more questions? Leave your questions so I can answer them. Waiting for your questions, guys. Waiting for your. Should Crawford go to PBC? Well, I think Crawford is in a great dilemma. Now, I've just made a video about Crawford. I've just filmed it or filmed it. I've screen recorded it, actually. I've done some screen record editing. Crawford looks like he's going to fight Kavalauskas, who's December 14th. And I don't like, to be honest, Crawford has to move. Even if he becomes a free agent so he can work with the PBC, that's okay, but he can't stay with Top Rank because Top Rank don't work with PBC. So it's getting very frustrating for us boxing fans because we're not getting to see Crawford in there with the best fighters. We want to see Crawford fight the best, and unfortunately, we're not getting to see that. So it's disappointing, to say the least. We want to see Crawford fight the best guys, and he probably needs to leave. If not go to the PBC, then at least become a free agent. Obviously, when his contract runs out, which apparently is next year, but we don't know. Someone says next year, then they say 2 years, so we don't know where his contract situation is at. But any more questions, guys? What do you think of what Mikey Garcia is doing with his career right now? Mikey Garcia is a free agent. Mikey Garcia's looking for another big fight. Mikey Garcia is probably going to fight Danny Garcia next, which is a great fight. Personally, I want to see Mikey Garcia fight Vasily Lomachenko. I believe that's the super fight that we wanted to see, and that should have happened instead of Mikey Garcia Spence. But instead, Mikey Garcia tried to move up weights like guys do in today's time and tried to fight Errol Spence, and it didn't work out for him. Loma beats Davis. I'm not a huge fan. I know a lot of people love Davis. I'm not a huge fan of Davis, if I'm honest with you. I'm not a huge fan. He's a decent fighter, but I'm not somebody that looks at Davis and is entirely impressed. He's a good fighter, decent fighter, but I'm not that impressed, if I'm totally honest with you. He's a good fighter, but I think he's limited. I think, yeah, I'm not hugely impressed by Davis. I think he's decent, but I don't think he matches up well against Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko schools him, if I'm honest. Any more questions? Any more questions, guys? Waiting for your questions. No worries, no worries. Do you think top pay-per-view will ever happen in Saudi Arabia? If so, who? When you mean top pay-per-view, we've got Joshua Ruiz. So that's a big pay-per-view, isn't it? When you mean pay-per-view, do you mean pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, where the Saudi Arabia people have to pay for the fight on TV? I don't know, what do you mean? Joshua Ruiz is a massive pay-per-view. It's one of the biggest fights in boxing happening in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I do think Saudi Arabia will happen. Now, if you're talking about big pay-per-view, you're talking about Mayweather Pacquiao, I think that could potentially be a huge fight in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, I believe so. I believe, I believe that there'll be big fights in Saudi Arabia, for sure. For sure. Any more questions, guys? What do you think? What do you make of Ruiz acting up since the first fight? Do you think Al Heyman is playing possibly. I haven't liked it, if I'm honest with you. I haven't liked it. I've hated it. It's really peed me off. Because this is a guy that Joshua gave an opportunity to, and now he's trying to go around calling himself, buying all these big mansions and not, instead of being grateful, he's starting to say, oh no, I want the fight here, and thinks that he's calling the shots when he signed a contract, which is ludicrous in my opinion. But that's how people are. He was acting all humble before the first fight, and now you see his true colors. You see the kind of man he is. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. That's why I want to see Joshua splatter him in the rematch, if I'm honest with you, just because of the way he's acted. I think I haven't liked it, if I'm honest with you, but that's how fighters are. They're selfish. Should Floyd just keep quiet and stay retired and no more Pac rematch? Well, Floyd's not going to stay quiet, because that's not what Floyd does. Floyd's going to continue to tease the fans. He's going to continue doing what he's doing, and he's going to probably want the fight with Pacquiao, or he's going to make it out like he wants to fight. Do you think a fight in the UK give it? I think a fight in the UK would have obviously given Joshua advantage. I think it would have been better for him to fight in a UK. You know, he's more comfortable there. But I think it's disappointing that he's not fought in the UK. But then, you know, he's probably, you know, Ruiz didn't want to come to the UK, wants it on neutral ground. It would have been better for Joshua, of course, but, you know, Ruiz was crying, so Joshua, you know, just said, let's just make it on a neutral venue. To go back to the Floyd-Pacquiao situation, I think Floyd-Pacquiao is, it's a great matchup. What do you think? 1 second, I'll answer that question. Yeah, so I think Floyd-Pacquiao need to get it on. They need to get it on. I want to see that fight. In terms of the Dillian Whyte situation, I think it's a bit confusing. We don't know what's going on. It's gone really quiet and nothing's been said since. Is it one where they're going to brush it under the carpet, or are they going to do more investigation? I don't know what's going on. Dillian Whyte's not come out and said anything. It's been just quiet, hush, hush. It's just been all hush, hush. So we don't know what the hell is going on with that situation. We're not even in a position to answer, because don't know what's happening. Don't know what's happening. It just seems like it's just gone all dead and all quiet. I don't know what's happening with that, but hopefully Dillian Whyte can get cleared. Dillian Whyte's a good fighter. He's made a good name for himself. But, you know, we just hope that Dillian Whyte can get cleared. If not, he's in big, big trouble. Any more questions, guys? Pacquiao said he'd like his final fight to be in the Philippines. How do you think that could happen? If someone pays him enough money, I think he'll fight. I think if he fights the last fight, maybe he should fight somebody that's not of high level in the Philippines. If it depends on the money. If someone's willing to pay him a lot of money, you know, at this stage in his career, he's not going to fight for free, or he's not going to fight, you know, just for the sake of fighting. He doesn't care where he fights, as long as he fights and gets a good payday. I believe that he should fight in. Do you talk about Did you talk? Yes, I did. I did talk about Loma Campbell. How would you have White with Wilder? Oh, when surely Wilder will do a better job. I think Wilder would beat White, if I'm honest with you. I think Wilder punches very hard, and I think Dillian Whyte is a tough guy, but I think against Wilder, those tough guys he'll just knock you out. You know what I mean? If Joshua put Dillian Whyte down, then I believe Wilder will knock out Dillian Whyte quite comfortably, if I'm honest. Yeah, I did talk about Loma Campbell. When I finish this live stream, you can go back and have a watch of it. I spoke quite a bit about Loma Campbell, if I'm honest with you. There's quite a bit. So yeah, once I finish it, you guys will be able to see the whole live stream. It's a good 32 minutes now. So, you know, yeah, any more questions, guys? I know some of you are trickling in. Any more questions, just leave your questions. Leave your questions. Where does Khan go from here? Well, to be honest, there's news that Amir Khan's having another baby on the way. So there's not anywhere he goes now. I just think his career's coming. If you were advising him, what would you do with him? Fight Kell Brook. That's what I would advise, because there's no other fight. Like, fight Kell Brook, because there's no other big fight, no other credible fight out there for you. That's what I would advise. But again, I don't see that fight's gonna happen. So is there LD fights out there? Danny Garcia. There isn't really any fights out there, if I'm honest. Who can Amir Khan fight? It's a tricky one. But yeah, anything else? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Anything about Yarde Kovalev? Anything about Loma Campbell? Anything about Porter Spence? Anything about Pacquiao or Canelo or Khan v Thurman? Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Thurman would be a heavy favorite in that one, but yeah, that could definitely come off. Thurman just came off a loss. Khan lost to Crawford. That's a big money. That would probably be a decent fight for Thurman. Definitely, yeah, I agree. I think that could be a good fight. Actually, I'll do a video on that. Khan v Thurman. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I'd love to see that. But you know, that'd be a tough matchup for Amir Khan. But you know, you can never write Khan off, because we know he has ability. But is Khan a top WBC now, and Mauricio does like him? How would you do against Spence if you won? Oh man, that's there's no chance against Spence. I'm just got to be honest, innit? Like, I like Khan, I always take his side, but come on, man. Spence would knock him out, man. Let's be real. Spence is different beast of an animal right now, and no one beats. Even Porter, you'd have to make him an underdog against Porter, and I think Porter's an easier fight, but come on, man. I don't think he beats either guy. I think he may have more of a chance against Porter, but against Spence, oof, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. Think about it. I was saying that Spence is a dangerous fight for Pacquiao. So what's it going to be like? Crawford, Spence, who wins? Crawford. I just favour Crawford. I think Crawford's a bit more skillful, got a bit more layers. He can switch. He can do a lot of things. He's got a decent chin. He's a good fighter. But some people think Spence is too big. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I favour Crawford. Crawford's a great fighter. But that's a brilliant fight. It's one of those fights where it's a trade fight, where people don't really know either guy that well. They're world names in boxing, but they're not huge stars, you know. So it's a trade fight. It's not a huge money fight. Spence Canelo at 160. Canelo would have to cut down in weight if he does go up again, and then Spence hits the body. It's too much weight, man. It's too much weight. A big welterweight is not a middleweight. Canelo's a fully fledged middleweight, right? And that's a tough fight, man. And Canelo's very skilled, very good, man. Canelo wins that one. Canelo's too big for Spence, in my opinion. But Spence is good. Spence goes good to the body, but so does Canelo. And Canelo's going to be breaking that body when he goes down, especially those left hooks to the body. Ooh, you don't want them hitting you. You know, especially if you're a smaller man, which Spence is. What in terms of what moving up weight or staying at the same weight? I think BJ Saunders gives him problems. I still think Canelo beats Saunders, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, to be honest, I think Canelo beats everyone in a round. I just think Canelo's unbelievable. I'm a huge Canelo fan. I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he's achieved. Canelo's an unbelievable fighter. For me, he's the best fighter in the world. I think what he's achieved, his resume and what he's done, I don't think he ever gets credit. Yeah, people want to talk about the steroids and all of that, but still, I think Canelo deserves a lot of respect. Great fighter, man. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? You got any more? Any more questions? Leave your questions, and I'll answer them. Yeah, so if you guys got any questions, in my description, in all the videos that I do, there's my email address. Just email me the questions, and what we'll do is, why don't Spence go up weight and fight Canelo instead of fighting an old man, smaller man Pacquiao? Do you think with Canelo turning pro, So the first question is, why don't Spence fight Canelo instead of fighting? Because Pacquiao's making him big money, and Pacquiao's a fight that's more winnable. Fighting Canelo at 160 is a fight that I believe he loses. It's too big. Pacquiao fights at 147. They're with PBC. It's an easy fight to make. Canelo's with DAZN. It's a hard fight to make. Canelo started his career young, you're right. Canelo's hitting his peak. You know what? Canelo's had a lot of fights. So I don't think Canelo's got that long left. What do you think, Canelo being stripped just after winning the belt? Well, I think it's only fair because there's mandatories there for a reason. I feel like, you know, if the mandatories aren't there, then it's not fair, is it? It's not fair if the guy don't get a mandatory shot. I believe the GGG will be fighting Lomachenko now for the mandatory position or the title, which I think is fair, because it's not fair for those guys that are in mandatory positions not to get a shot. But Lomachenko lost against Jacobs, and then he found himself in a mandatory position. I don't quite understand that. He didn't just fight for the IBF title when Jacob fought for it, and he lost. Canelo not get a voluntary fight? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he did. Don't you think he should have a voluntary fight? Yeah, exactly. That's why I think Canelo didn't get a voluntary. So it's not fair. It's not right. I think Canelo should have got a voluntary. And allowed some time. Well, that's why the WBC have made him a franchise champion, because they want to give him more time and space. BJ Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith. I think Callum Smith is too big. I think Callum Smith is too big, too strong. Callum Smith is just a massive a super middleweight. Let's not forget, Callum Smith is a guy that could probably go up to light heavyweight. He's that big. So I think Callum Smith's a good boxer, and Callum Smith hits hard, and he's a big. I think he beats him. So if that is Spence's case, can you call him great? Yeah, I think, yeah, if listen, by beating Manny Pacquiao, that's a good win. But you can't call him great. He has to carve out a career. He has to go and beat more guys. He has to go to 154. He has to go to 160 and beat guys there. Then we can say he's a great. At the minute, he's not fought that many fighters. You know what I mean? He needs to fight greater fighters for him to get that credit. You know, which I don't believe he's done at the minute. So I don't think so. No, I think he's too old. I think it's too dangerous for him to make 140. I think he's too old. I think he's I think welterweight's about right. He struggles to make welterweight. You know, so how's he gonna make 140? I don't see it. He's too big. It's too big, in my opinion. It's just too big, and at the minute, you know, he's a bit older. And I don't think he can make 140, which would have been good. Joyce v Dubois. That's a tough one. I would say Joyce probably. Joyce is, although Dubois looks better, I think Joyce is a bit more seasoned than Dubois. And Joyce is tough, but Dubois punches very hard. It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for both. It's a very hard fight to call because I like Dubois. I think Dubois is a future. So at the minute, I think Joyce might just edge that one. Any more, guys? Any more questions? Strange with the IBF vacant belt, fought for less than a year ago and already with a mandatory fight for it. Yeah, I don't get that myself. Devonchenko, I swear he fought Jacobs for the IBF belt, and now he's fighting. Now he's mandatory again. I don't quite understand. How did he become mandatory? How did he get that shot? I don't get it. I don't get it one bit. I don't get how that happened. But I guess, like I said, you know, there's politics in boxing. There's a lot of politics in boxing. So that's what it is, in my opinion. He got beat for a vacant belt 10 months ago. Yeah, so against Jacobs, I believe. So yeah, I don't quite understand that myself. But against, there's a lot of things we don't understand. There's too many belts. There's too many things going on, and there's a lot of things we don't understand about boxing. But it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Any more questions, guys, before I shoot off? Any more questions? So yeah, guys, just a quick one. If you want me to do a Q&A with you guys, what I would suggest is for you guys to go in my description, get my email, and send me questions, and then I'll answer all your questions in a video. So that's what I'll do. So just make sure to have a look at my description, so then you can see my email address, so then you can send me questions via email, and then I'll try to answer all of them. Yeah, so if you wanna ask them on the YouTube videos, be my guest. Like I said, I want to interact with you guys a lot more. Hopefully I'll do this once a week, every Thursday. This time will probably be great. And then also, do you rate Ryan Garcia? I think it's Styles suits amateur. Ryan Garcia is a great talent, great fighter. I think he's an up-and-coming talent. I think he's still a bit raw. He's still got a long way to go. Golden Boy are promoting him, but I think he's still got a long way to go. The other guy that you mentioned, Hamza Massoud, I've not heard of him. I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Check him out, and then I'll come back to you on that. But yeah, I hope this is interactive enough for you guys. So it's about 45 minutes long. And yeah, guys, what I'll do is I'll see you guys in my next videos, and also I'll do this once a week now, just to interact with you guys a lot more. So yeah, guys, make sure to tune in. Make sure if you haven't seen the live stream, it will be up so you can watch it at any time. And guys, yeah, I'll see you guys. Make sure to leave your questions. Go in my description. Get my email and send me questions via email so then we can do Q&As. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Cool, guys. I see you guys. I'm out.